First run teleconference 12th November 1930. Congress boycotted the conference. Muslim League was represented by Muhammad Ali Aga Khan, Fazlul Haq, Ahmed Jinnah, and Hindu Massacre by Munje and Jagar. Des Bahadur Sapro, Sintamani, and Srinivas Shastri. Liberals appeared. Princess of Hyderabad, Marshal attended it. No reason articulate of the conference. This government now made attempts to negotiate an agreement with the Congress so that it could attend the teleconference. What would statesman Jagar Sapro and Srinivas Shastri initiated efforts to break the ice between Gandhiji and the government. The negotiation between Iran and Gandhi in 5th March 1931 came to be known Gandhi-Iran Pact or Non-Delhi Pact. Gandhi-Iran Pact. And this pact, the government agreed to release all those political prisoners who had remained in environment to make sure the power consumption was equal to. The Congress was to suspend civil disobedience movement and take part in second World Conference. Constitution in 1921. It endorsed the Gandhi-Iran Pact. This was also memorable for its resolution on fundamental rights and national economic progress with the efforts of Jawaharlal Nehru and Subhash Chandra Bose. 6 days in the British possession of Chin Chukdev Guru were executed. Second World Conference. September 1931. Sarojini Naidu, Mahadev Desai, G.D. Birla, and Madan Mohan Gandhi attended the second World Conference, but the British government refused to negotiate the basic national estimate for Britain on the basis of the immediate grant of dominion status with complete control over defense, external affairs, and finance. On his return, Gandhiji resumed a short sentence movement in 1932 and final military meeting in 1934. Pune Pact, commonly held in 1932, when the government announced the proposal on minority representation as the commonly held in 1932. Under this, the depressed classes, Muslims, Sikhs, Indian Christians, Indians, women, and backward classes would be credited as a minority, would be entitled to the right of separate electorate. Gandhi reacted strong to the proposal. He considered the depressed class as the integral part of Hindu society. It would there was no need to protect the depressed classes through representation, but the need was to eradicate untouchable leading. Gandhi restored to first undertake Yarabad against this separate electorate for depressed class of which Ambedkar was insisting on. This resulted to the conflict between Gandhi and Ambedkar on 25th September 1932. 147 seats were to be allotted to the depressed classes at the provincial legislature as against 71 provided by the Commonwealth. The pact also called for adequate representation of depressed classes in civil services. Gandhi's equality was horizon for depressed classes, and the upliftment became his prime concern. Volunteer and the untouchability was destroyed in September 1932. On 8 May 1933, Gandhi decided to begin a 21-day first Berkshire purification for the horizon course. Impacts of civil disobedience movement. The Congress swept most of the polls in most provinces in the entire south of the left parties emerged as an alternative in politics. Some Congress activists formed a socialist group, Nero and Soros both emerged as leaders. Impacts of civil disobedience movement. Third Roundtable Conference held in London in 1932. The Congress didn't participate. The discussion led to Government of India Act 1935. Government of India Act 1935. The discussions of the Third Roundtable Conference and the Simon Commission report eventually led to the passage of the Government of India Act of 1935. The Act provided for the establishment of an All India Federation and a new system of government for the provinces on the basis of provincial autonomy. It abolished the Council of India, established by the Government of India Act 1858. The Act provided for a federal court and a federal bank. The Congress rejected the 1935 Act and demanded the convening of a Constitutional Assembly elected all the basis of either branches to frame a constitution for independent India. Second World War. Lord Linlithgow declared India to be at war without the prior assent of the Central Legislature. The Congress Ministry resigned in the wake of the war. Congress agreed to support Britain only in return of independence being granted. The Viceroy could promise this only after the war. In October to November 1939, the Congress Ministries resigned in protest. The Muslim League observed this as the Deliverance Day. 2nd December 1939, the Satyagraha was kept limited so as not to embarrass Britain's war effort by a mass upheaval in India. The Viceroy refused to accept the preconditions set by the Congress Constituent Assembly for establishment of a responsible government at the center. But the British government desperately wanted the active cooperation of Indians in the war effort. To secure this cooperation, agents to India in March 1914 to a mission headed by a cabinet messenger, Stafford Cripps, and Brigadier the August of 1940. The Viceroy Linlithgow put forward a proposal that included dominant status in India and special future, a post-war body to enact constitution, expansion of Governor General's Council with representation of the minorities, establishment of a war advisory council. Congress rejected the offer as there was no successor for a national government. Muslim League accepted it. Individual Satyagraha. Congress rejected the August offer because Congress was convinced that the British would not modify the policy in India. Gandhi decided to start the individual Satyagraha in September 1940. Vinoba Bhave was the first to offer individual Satyagraha, followed by Jawaharlal Nehru and Brahma Dutt. Delhi Selma movement began in 1940. August offer. Viceroy was the time Linlithgow Viceroy. Lord Linlithgow. Cripps Mission 1942. Cripps Mission 1942. A mission under Stafford Cripps was sent to India in March 1942. He proposed a dominant status. The British government's refusal of accepting immediately at the Congress debate of forming an individual and forming a national government was the cause of failure of the mission. Constitutional provision of the Cripps Mission. Dominant status to be granted after the war. Constitutional proposal of the Cripps Mission. Dominant status to be granted after the war. Constitution making about to be elected from provincial assemblies and nominated by the rulers in case of princely states. Individual princes could sign a separate assignment, separate agreement with the British. British would, however, control the defense for war period, and British government undertook to accept and implement the constitution on two conditions. The province says unwilling to accept the constitution could form a separate union with separate constitution. The new constitution-making body and the British government would negotiate a treaty to sort out matters arising out of transfer of power to Indian hands. Candidated is proposal as opposed that check in crashing bank to his proposal failed, but it provided legitimacy to the demand for Pakistan by accommodating it a provision for provincial autonomy. Quite in the moment 1942, the All India Congress Committee met at Bombay on 8 August 1942. It was the famous Quit India resolution and proposed to start a non-violent mass struggle under Gandhi's leadership. It's also called the Word Proposal and the Leaderless Revolt. Gandhi told the British to quit and leave India in Cochin. His message was to or die. A repressive policy of the government and indiscriminate arrest of the leaders provoked people to violence. Nehru was lost in Almora jail, Maulana Azad in Bankura, and Gandhi was kept in Aga Khan's palace. Pune, in many areas, government lost control and the people established Swaras. Parallel governments were established in Satara. Pradesh Sarkar was set up under Nana Patil and in Balia under Sittu Pandey. Others were in Talsur and Bihar in Bengal. Tambuk Jatiya Sarkar functioned in Midnapur. Underground revolutionary activity also stirred by Jayaprakash Narayan and Ramanandan Mishra escaped from Hazaribagh jail and organized an underground movement in Bombay. The socialist leaders continued their underground activities under leaders like Nasab Ali. Congress were established with Usa Mehta as its announcer and Ram Manohar Lohia in Bihar. School and college students and women actively participated. Workers went on strikes. There were no communal classes during the movement. The merchant community and the capitalists didn't participate. The Muslim League kept Apollo and the Hindu Mahasabha condemned the movement. Communist Party didn't support the movement, as the Popular Survey also didn't participate. Demand of Pakistan. In 1930, Muhammad Iqbal for the first time suggested the Punjab province, Sindh, Balochistan and Kashmir be made a Muslim state within the Federation. Chaudhary Rahmat Ali coined the term Pakistan. Later, Pakistan, the pure Muslims to be subjugated by Hindus in pre-India, was realized by President. It demanded better creation of Pakistan. Pakistan resolution. Muslim League first passed a proposal of separate Pakistan in its lower session in 1940 called Zinas to Nation Theory. It was drafted by Sikandar Hayat Khan, moved by Fazlul Haq and seconded by Kalikuzaman. It rejected the federal scheme envisaged in the Government of India in 1935. In December 1943, the Karachi session of the Muslim League adopted the slogan "Divide and Quit." Gandhi's first 10th February to 7th March 1943. Gandhi's first February to 7 March 1943. Gandhi took a 21-day fast for condemning the violence of the people during the Quit India movement. 21 days fast. thing by Gandhi in 1943. Because of the Quit India movement, political violence. As the Gopalachari formula 1944 was known as Rajaji formula 1944. As the Gopalachari proposed that a commission could be appointed for demarcating district in the northwest and east where Muslims were in absolute majority. Plebiscite would be held on the basis of suffrage, and that would ultimately decide the issue of separation from Hindustan. A majority decides in favor of forming a separate sovereign state, then such could be accepted. Zinn objected this as he wanted Congress to accept two-nation theory and wanted all the Muslims of the northwest and east to vote in the plebiscite. Desai Liaquat Pact with no settlement between the League and Congress. Similar conference or Wavell Plan 1945 proposed by Lord Wavell suggested to set up a new executive council. Similar conference or Wavell Plan 1945 proposed by Lord Wavell suggested to set up a new executive council with only Indian members. The viceroy and commander-in-chief would be the only non-Indian members of the council. It would work under the existing constitution, but though was open to a discussion of new constitution. Hindus and Muslims would have equal representation. Jinn demanded the Muslim League to have absolute choice in choosing the Muslim members, so he rejected the plan. Muhammad Jinnah rejected the Wavell Plan for similar conference. In 1945, the Indian National Army. The idea of the Indian National Army was first conceived in Malaya by Mohan Singh, an Indian officer of the British Indian Army. The Japanese handed over the Indian prisoners of war to Mohan Singh, who tried to recruit them into an Indian National Army. By the end of 1942, 40,000 men were ready to join the Indian National Army. And 42 is first funded by Mohan Singh, and some other personality was there. And Subhash Chandra Bose founded the Indian National Army in 1943. Yes, in the countries of Southeast Asian countries in Malaysia, Singapore, etc. countries. The outbreak of the Quit India movement gave a fillip to the Indian National Army. In March 1942, High Conference of India was held in Tokyo, and the Indian Independence League was formed. At Bangkok Conference, Ras Bihari Bose was elected as president of the league. Subhash Bose escaped to Berlin in 1941 and set up Indian League here in Berlin in 1941. Subhash Chandra Bose. In 1943, he arrived at Singapore. Earlier, he had left Congress after having differences with Gandhi and formed the Forward Bloc in 1939. Subhash Chandra Bose formed the Forward Bloc in 1939. What's making sense over here? What's making sound over there? I don't know. Who made the chant? What is the time now? It is 12 o'clock. And my time is 21 minutes. I have already done 21 minutes right now. Bangkok Conference, British representatives, Representative Bose escaped to Berlin in 1941 and set up Indian League Deal. 1943, he arrived at Singapore. Earlier, he had left the Congress after having differences with country and formed were blocked in 1939. In Singapore, he was assisted by Rasbia reports in October 1943. He set up a provisional Indian government with headquarters at Rangoon and Singapore. Indian National Army trials. The National Army commanders B.K. Saigal, Sanavas, and Gurbakh Stilon were put on trial at a Red Fort. Defense of Indian National Army prisoners in the court was organized by Phulabhai Desai, Des Bahadur Sapro, Kailasnath Kacho Nehru, and Asaf Ali. Muslim League also with the country. White protest to November 1945 was celebrated as International Army Day. The Cabinet Mission 1946, the early government announced in February 1946 the decision to send a high-powered mission of three British cabinet members: Patrick Lawrence, Secretary of State for India, Stafford Cripps, President of the Board of Trade, and Alexander, First Lord of Admiralty, to India to find out ways and means for a negotiated and peaceful transfer of power to India. The British bid for a united and friendly India, and they rejected the demand for a full-fledged Pakistan. The Congress demanded that power should be transferred to one center, and that minorities would demands be worked out only after the British left the country. Congress and League defeated over the issue of the national grouping. Congress wanted the group to be optional to the formation of the Constituent Assembly. Virginia was in favor of compulsory grouping. Jenner's direct action resolution. It was alarmed by the election results of the Constituent Assembly Congress on 209 of the total 273 seats, and was afraid of being totally eclipsed in the Constituent Assembly. On 29 July 1946, Jinnah withdrew his earlier acceptance to the plan and fixed 16th August 1946 as direct action day. Calcutta, Noakhali, and Garmukdeshwar were the storm centers. Jinnah celebrated Pakistan Day. Jinnah celebrated Pakistan Day on 7th March 1947. Jinnah celebrated Pakistan Day on 27th March 1947. Interim government 1946. Interim government 1946, headed by Jawaharlal Nehru, was shown on 2nd September 1946. Muslim League refused to join initially. Webel persuaded the League to join in October 1946. Liaquat Ali Khan of Muslim League was made the finance minister. The Constituent Assembly begins its session in December 1946, and Dr. Rajendra Prasad was elected as president, but the League didn't attend. By Rajendra Prasad. Early settlement, Interim League 1946. Early settlement, 20th February 1947. Early settlement. At the deadline of 30 June 1948 was fixed for transfer of power, even if the Indian politicians had not agreed by the time on the constitution. British power and obligations vis-a-vis the princely states would lapse with transfer of power, but this would not be given to any successor government. Mountbatten was to replace Wavell as the viceroy. Mountbatten was to replace Wavell as the viceroy. Mountbatten. Partition of the country was implicitly provided that if the Constituent Assembly was not fully representative, then power would be transferred to more than one central government. Mountbatten Plan, 3rd June 1947. As Viceroy, Mountbatten proved more decisive and quick in making decisions than his predecessors. Mountbatten, yes. His task was to explore the option of unity or division till October 1947, and then advised the British government on the form of transfer of power. 3rd June Plan. In case of partition, two dominions and two constituent assemblies would be created. The plan declared that the power would be handed over by 15 August 1947. Mountbatten Plan would be handed over by 15 August 1947. The referendum in NWFP decided in favor of Pakistan. Princely states were given the option to join either of the two dominions or remain independent. Boundary Commission was to be set up if partition was effected. Mountbatten's formula was to divide India, but written maximum unity. Punjab and the Bengal assemblies were to meet in two groups, Hindus and Muslims, to vote for partition. The legislative assemblies of Punjab and the Bengal decided in favor of partition of these two provinces. Thus, East Bengal and West Punjab joined Pakistan. West Bengal and East Punjab remained with India. Referendum in Chilhat resulted in the incorporation of the district in West Bengal. Indian Independence Act 1947. On 18 July 1947, British Parliament ratified the Mountbatten Plan as the Independence of India Act 1947. Indian Independence Act 1947. On 18 July 1947, British Parliament ratified the Mountbatten Plan as the on 18 July 1947, British Parliament ratified the Mountbatten Plan as the Independence of India 1947. Independence of India Act 1947. The Act provided for the creation of two. The Act provided for the creation of two independent dominions of India and Pakistan. Yes, but states or countries were able to be parted, means to be independence, to get independence. Yeah. Its dominion was to have a governor general to be responsible for elective operation of the Act. Governor general should be the promoted term. Sovereignty of British power was to be abolished. Sovereignty of British power to be abolished. Yes, there will be sovereign countries, both of them, and sovereignty of British will be abolished. Till then. Independence of India. On 15 August 1947, India got independence. India requested Mountbatten to continue as the Governor General of India. Yes, India requested Mountbatten to continue his Governor Generalship. Yes, of India. Jinnah became the first Governor General of Pakistan. Jinnah became the first Governor General of Pakistan. Assembly and councils of the states were to be automatically dissolved. Assembly and councils were automatically dissolved. Yes, the assembly and the councils. For the transitional period that is till a new constitution was adopted by each dominion, the government of the two accordance with the government of the two dominion were to be carried on in accordance with the government of India Act 1935. The government of the two dominion were to be carried on in accordance with the government of India Act 1935. Integration of states played the most important role in the integration of states, except Kashmir, Hyderabad, and Junagadh. All states signed an instrument of accession with the Indian government on October 1947. The Pakistani troops invaded Kashmir and in the crisis, the Maharaj of Kashmir assigned to the Indian Union. Through a referendum in the state of Junagadh in February 1948, Junagadh was merged in the Indian Union. Junagadh was merged in the Indian Union. The Nawab left for Pakistan. Due to the pressure of internal anarchy, the military action Operation Polo in the state, the Nizam of Hyderabad was forced to join the Indian Union. The Nizam of Hyderabad was forced to join the Indian Union. Integration of French colonies, Pondicherry, Chandranagar, Mahe, Karaikal, and Yemen were integrated by the end of 954. Integration of Portuguese colonies, Dadra and Nagar Haveli, 954. Goa and Daman and Diu, 1961. French colonies were Pondicherry, Chandranagar, Mahe, Karaikal, and Yemen. Pondicherry, Chandranagar, Mahe, Karaikal, Yemen were all integrated by the end of 1954. And what Portuguese colonies were those Dadra and Nagar Haveli, 1954, Goa and Daman and Diu. Goa and Daman and Diu. Goa and Daman and Diu. 1961. Important national leaders. Important national leaders. International leaders, Dadabhai Nauroji, 1825 to 917. He was the first Indian to demand Swaraj in the Calcutta session of International Congress in 906. He was the first person who demanded Swaraj in the Calcutta session 1906. Calcutta session of International Congress 1906. Dadabhai Nauroji, 1906. He was also known as the Indian Gladstone, Grand Old Man of India. Grand Old Man of India. He is known by Dadabhai Nauroji. He was first Indian to be elected to the House of Commons on Liberal Party ticket. First Indian to be elected House of Commons. He highlighted the draining of wealth from India by British and its effect in his book Poverty and British Rule in India, 1901. Dadabhai Nauroji's book Poverty and British Rule in India, Poverty and British Rule in India, that is written in 901. That is there is mentioned by Dadabhai Nauroji that in this this drained by the British, means British have taken away our wealth to their home country. Innovation is what we call English. Amen. Innovation 1847 to 1933. 1847 1933. Supported the Theosophical Society in India and started the Home Rule League and Theosophical Society. Look and innovation maybe. But foundation of Home Rule League. Innovation. She established Central Hindu School and College at Banaras, later Banaras University. She was elected the president of Calcutta Session International Congress in 1917. She did not attend the 920 session at Nagpur due to growing differences with Gandhiji. She left the government of India in 1908. Amends to Free India. She edited famous newspapers, New India and Commonwealth. New India and Commonwealth Innovations newspapers. She prepared the Lotus Song, a translation of Gita into English. She prepared Lotus Song, a translation of Gita into English. Bal Gangadhar Tilak. 1857 to 1920. 1857 to 1920. He died earlier. 1857. Supremacy, peasants revolt during the time of peasant revolt. And in 20, the time non-cooperation movement, he died. He was awarded with the title Lokmanya, Balgangadhar Tilak Lokmanya title, based was added by Balgangadhar Tilak. He established New English School at Pune, that is in Maharashtra. Maharashtra, yes, Pune is Maharashtra. He was the editor of Maratha in English and Kesari in Marathi. He was the editor of Maratha. He was the editor of Maratha, and Kesari in Marathi. Kesari was Marathi. And Kesari was the newspaper in Marathi language, and Maratha that was in English language. He joined in the National Congress in 1891, and moved an Arms Act resolution. He celebrated the Ganapati Puja and the Shivaji festival. He collaborated with Agarkar and set up institutions to give economically feasible education to people. He was called Bal. Lal Lajpat Rai was called Lal, and Bipin Chandra Pal was called Pal. They were called as the trio of Lal Bal Pal. Trio of Lal, yes, Bal Pal. And extremist group, yes, they were all extremist leaders. But Gopal Krishna Gokhale was moderate. They were called as trio of Lal Bal Pal, an extremist group. He founded the Home Rule League, yes, with Annie Besant and Balgangadhar Tilak. But of them together founded Home Rule League in 1919. Yes, in 1919, of course, that will be the year. Oh, no, 1916. It was 1916. Home Rule League was founded by Annie Besant and Balgangadhar Tilak in 1916. Have the uprising using the Lokno Pact and Abrahams Act at the Amritsar Congress in 1919. He demanded Swaraj and gave the slogan Swaraj is my birthright and I shall have it. Swaraj is my birthright and I shall have it. That was given by Balgangadhar Tilak, but for the first time Swaraj was demanded by Dadabhai Naoroji in his book India and Un-British Rule in India. What was the name of the Poverty and Un-British Rule in India? It was written in 1901 by Dadabhai Naoroji. So it was first demanded by the book, or in the book, they are mentioned like that. Bankim Chandra Chattopadhyay, 1833 to 1894. Bankim Chandra Chattopadhyay, 1833 to 1894. He was a great scholar, best known for the composition of the hymn Vande Mataram. Vande Mataram is a national song. Yes, national song, Vande Mataram. First novel was Durgesh Nandini, published in 1864, and he started a journal Banga Darshan. Also, that Vande Mataram was taken from the book Anandmant, which was written in 1876. Anandmant, that was the national song of India. Bipin Chandra Pal, 1858 to 932. 1858 to 932. He died earlier than Innovation. Bipin Chandra Pal, 1858 to 1932. He was awarded with the title Mightiest Prophet of Nationalism by Aurobindo Ghosh. Bipin Chandra Pal and Aurobindo. They founded the led what? Extremist party of in West Bengal. Awarded with the title Mightiest Prophet of Nationalism by Aurobindo Ghosh. Mightiest Prophet of Nationalism, which was given by Aurobindo Ghosh. And together they were co-founded, they led the extremist International Congress Party from West Bengal. He supported the Age of Consent Bill 1891, Swadeshi movement, and fought for the cause of Assam tea gardeners. Yes, Bipin Chandra Pal fought for the cause of the Assam tea gardeners. He started newspapers, Paridasak Weekly, Public Opinion and Tribune Editor, Swaraj English Weekly in London, Hindu Review English Monthly, Independent Daily, and Democrat Weekly. Rabindranath Tagore, 1861 to 1941, 1861 to 1941. In 61 to 1941, Rabindranath Tagore. He was a poet, philosopher, educationist, internationalist, and a patriot. His elder brother, Satyendra Tagore, was the first Indian to become an ICS. Satyendra Tagore was his elder brother. Rabindranath Tagore's elder brother was the first Indian, ICS, Indian civil servant. Yes, Indian civil servant. First Indian civil servant was Satyendra Tagore. Was the brother of Rabindranath Tagore, elder brother of Rabindranath Tagore. His first poem was published in the Amrita Bazar Patrika. And then he wrote Bonaful story. Bonaful, not like Bonful. Raghunath Chaudhary লিখিছিলে নেকি Bonful? Bonaful, this one is a storybook written by Rabindranath Tagore, and also poem collection, poetry collection, poetry. He published a poetry book, Amrita Bazar Patrika. And then he wrote Bonaful story and Phanusinher Padavali, series of lyrics. He founded Santiniketan near Bolpur on 22nd December 1901. He founded Santiniketan near Bolpur on 22nd December 1901. He wrote Gitanjali 1913. He wrote Gitanjali, which fetched him the Nobel Prize in 1913. Which fetched him the Nobel Prize in 1913. Because of the storybook, poetry book Gitanjali. Rabindranath Tagore, was able to do it. Was awarded Nobel Prize. 1913. Inaugurated a Raksha Bandhan festival to oppose the partition of Bengal in 1905. To oppose the partition of Bengal, he inaugurated Raksha Bandhan festival. He founded the Vishwa Bharati University, maybe in Calcutta. Rabindranath Tagore founded Vishwa Bharati University. In 1915, British Crown granted him a knighthood, which he renounced after the Jallianwala Bagh massacre in 1919. 1919 or 19 somewhere. In 1915, in the British Crown granted him a knighthood, which he renounced after the Jallianwala Bagh massacre. His compositions were chosen as national anthem by two nations: India, Jana Gana Mana; Bangladesh, Amar Sonar Bangla. India, Jana Gana Mana; Amar Sonar Bangla. Jana Gana Mana and Amar Sonar Bangla. National anthem of Bangladesh. National anthem of India. Jana Gana Mana, Amar Sonar Bangla. Lala Lajpat Rai was called Lion of Punjab. Lion of Punjab, Punjab, Surrey, Punjab. He was inspired by Mahatma Hansraj, being an Arya Samajist. He helped in establishment of the DFE College at Lahore. DFE College at Lahore. Lajpat Rai. He was Punjabi. He withdrew his name from the presidential list of the International Congress at its Surat session. Surat session took place in 1907, and there where what you call some split took place between yes, in the International Congress Party into what extremist and moderate groups. And Lal Balpal were extremists, and Gopal Krishna Gokhale was moderate leader of the International Congress. He was inspired by Mahatma Hansraj, being an Arya Samajist. He helped in establishment of the DFE College at Lahore. He withdrew his name from the presidential list of the International Congress at its Surat session. He was the president of the special session of the Congress at Calcutta in 1920. He opposed the withdrawal of non-cooperation movement in 1922. He opposed the withdrawal of non-cooperation movement in 1922. Yes, 1922. Non-cooperation movement took place in 1920 to 22. He founded Swaraj Party and Motilal Nehru. He founded Swaraj Party with Motilal Nehru and C.R. Das. Chittaranjan Das. Lala Lajpat Rai founded Swaraj Party with Motilal Nehru and Chittaranjan Das. He was injured during a demonstration against Salmon Commission. Against Salmon Commission. He was injured in 1928, and afterwards he was succumbed and died in 1929. In the protest of Salmon Commission. During the protest of Salmon Commission, he got injured, and afterwards, within a year, he died in 1929. Simon Commission. 1928. He was the editor of the Vande Mataram and Punjab. He was the editor of Vande Mataram, Punjab and the People. The last brother was the editor of Vande Mataram, Punjab and the People. Gopal Krishna Gokhale, he was the political guru of Mahatma Gandhi and the moderate, leader of International Congress. 1866 to 1915. 1866 to 1915. Gopal Krishna Gokhale. Gandhiji regarded him as his political guru. Yes, Gandhiji regarded Krishna Guru G.K. Gokhale, political guru. His political guru. He was the president of the Banaras session of International Congress in 1905. He was the president of Banaras session of International Congress 1905. Supported the Swadeshi movement. He was the founder of the Servants of Indian Society in 1905. Servants of Indian Society was founded by Gopal Krishna Gokhale. Servants of Indian Society. The lower caste people. Yes, lower caste people. Servants of Indian Society. Servants of India Society. Servants of India. Servants of Indian Society in 1905. He was the founder to train people who would work as national missionaries. Mahatma Gandhi, 1869 to 1948. Mahatma Gandhi, 1869 to 1948. Gandhi came to India. Gandhi came to India in 1915 from South Africa. He already had satyagrahas in South Africa in 1907. Satyagraha was done against compulsory registration and passes for India. In 1910, against immigration restrictions and the recognition of non-Christian Indian marriages. He followed the doctrine of Ahimsa. Gandhiji followed the doctrine of Ahimsa. The Samparan Satyagraha in 1917 against the Tinkatia system. Against the Tinkatia system, it was like a revenue system. Led by him, what's his first success in India? In Samparan, Bihar. Samparan Satyagraha in Bihar. Against the Tinkatia system. For the conservation of Nil. Nil means what? Yes, I've forgotten the term that. What was it? Samparan Satyagraha, Tinkatia system. The Ahmedabad Satyagraha that was held in 1918. Ahmedabad Satyagraha, where there was a dispute between the mill owner and the workers of the plague bonus, but the plague bonus was also a success. Gandhi then advised the worker to go on strike and undertook a hunger strike. After which the mill owners were pressurized to accept the tribunal award of 35% increase in wages. 35% increase in wages. Kheda Satyagraha. The peasants of Kheda Satyagraha. This took place in 1918. Yes, Kheda Satyagraha. Peasants of Kheda district were in extreme distress due to the failure of crops, and the government ignored their appeals for the remission of land revenue. Gandhiji advised them to withhold the revenue and fight until death. Yes, and it was in Kheda district. It was Satyagraha. They gave up fast, and there was like not how to give the land revenue to the government, and practiced on fasting until death. And this was also a success of Gandhiji. Pexavat Gandhi, named Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi, titles Mahatma by Rabindranath Tagore, 1917. Rabindranath Tagore gave Mahatma title to Mahatma in 1917. And Malang Baba, some other titles maybe Malang Baba, Nanga Fakir by Kabilas of Northwest Frontier, 930. Kabilas Northwest Frontier, 930. Malang Baba, Nanga Fakir, Indian or traitor, Fakir, by Winston Churchill. Winston Churchill called Mahatma Gandhi Fakir, 1931. Winston Churchill, the Prime Minister of Britain or England. Half naked sent by Frank Morse, 931. Rashtrapita by Subhash Chandra Bose. Subhash Chandra Bose, 944. Subhash Chandra Bose. Subhash Chandra Bose gave Mahatma Gandhi the title Rashtrapita, 944, and Mahatma in 1917. But 2nd October 1896, 1869, 2nd October 1869, at Porbandar in Gujarat, Mother Putuli Bai, Father Karamchand Gandhi, Political Guru Gopal Krishna Gokhale, Private Secretary Mahadev Desai, influenced by John Ruskin Bond. John Ruskin. Influenced by John Ruskin. Until the last. This was the book written by John Ruskin, maybe. Until the last. Leo Tolstoy. Philosophers. Thoreau, Emerson, the Bible, the Gita. Mahatma Gandhi was influenced by John Ruskin until the last. Leo Tolstoy, Thoreau, Emerson, the Bible, the Gita. As an editor, Indian Opinion, 1903 to 15, it lasted. Indian Opinion. In English, Gujarati. He worked as an editor in Indian Opinion. In English, Gujarati, Hindi, Tamil. The four languages still. Horizon was a newspaper which ran from 1919 to 31 in English, Gujarati, and Hindi. Young India, 1933 to 42 in English and Gujarati. Literary works. Young India, Indian Opinion, Horizon. This is where he is. Newspapers. He worked. Literary works, Hind Swaraj, 1909, Hind Swaraj. My Expectations with Truth. Autobiography, My Expectations with Truth, autobiography by Mahatma Gandhi. 1927 and 27, Hind Swaraj was written in 1909, and My Experiments with Truth. My Experiments with Truth was written in 1927. Hind Swaraj, 1909, and My Experiments with Truth, 1927. It was autobiography. Surgeon Naidu, 1879 to 1949. 1879 to 1949. Well known as the Nightingale of India, Surgeon Naidu, 1879 to 1949, 1879 to 1949, Surgeon Naidu, Nightingale of India. She was a nationalist and poetess from Uttar Pradesh. She was married. She was a nationalist and a poetess from Uttar Pradesh. She was married to Dr. Govinda Rajulu. Govinda Rajulu Naidu. Sarojini Naidu married to Govinda Rajulu Naidu. Govinda Rajulu Naidu. In 1893, under the guidance of Gopal Krishna Gokhale, she became the first woman to participate in India's struggle for independence. Yes, under the guidance of Mahatma Gandhi, Sarojini Naidu participated in the Indian independence, what do you call, struggle, yes, or movement. She participated in the Dandi March with Gandhiji and presided over the Kanpur session of Congress in 1935. Dandi March took place in 12th March 1930. And it was like 375 kilometers distance and 78 participants were there in the march from Gandhi's Sabarmati ashram to Dandi, maybe. She was married. Guidance. She participated in the Dandi March with Gandhiji and presided over the Kanpur session in 1925. Kanpur session of International Congress, session of Congress, 1925. She was the first woman to become the governor of Uttar Pradesh state. Sarojini Naidu was the first woman to become the governor of Uttar Pradesh state. Her famous books include The Golden Threshold, 1905, The Feeder of the Dawn, The Golden Threshold, The Birth of Time, 1912, and The Broken Wing, 1917, The Broken Wing. Some famous books written by Sarojini Naidu were The Golden Threshold, The Feeder of the Dawn, The Golden Threshold, The Feeder of the Dawn, The Golden Threshold, The Feeder of the Dawn, The Birth of Time, The Broken Wing. Chakraborty Raja Gopala, 1879 to 1972, 1879 to 1972. He was a politician and lawyer from Tamil Nadu. Chakraborty Raja Gopala was from Tamil Nadu. He was a lawyer and politician. He gave up his practice during non-cooperation movement. He gave up his practice during non-cooperation movement took place in 1922. Because of Swiss rights, then the non-cooperation movement was withheld by Gandhi. He had the post of the General Secretary of the International Congress in 1921 to 22, and was a member of Congress Working Committee from 1922 to 24. He started the civil disobedience movement in Tamil Nadu and was arrested for leading a salt march from Trishinapalli to Vedaraniam on the Tanjore coast. Yes. Chiraja Gopalasari also led salt march from Trishinapalli to Vedaraniam on the Tanjore coast. That will be in Tamil Nadu, I guess. Tanjore coast. He was elected as the Chief Minister of Madras in 1937 elections. Chief Minister of Madras, 1937 elections. He resigned from International Congress in 1942 for not accepting the Cripps proposal. He resigned. He prepared the Sitaranjan Seer formula. He prepared the Seer formula for Congress League Cooperation prepared as a formula for Congress League Corporation. He served as the governor of Bengal, August to November 1947, and was the first and last Indian Governor General of India. First and last Governor General of India, that was C. Rajagopalasari Chakrabarti Rajagopalasari was the first and last Indian Governor General. There was Governor General means after the independence. Nine 50. And the first Governor General of India was after independence. There was Lord Mountbatten. And before independence of India, the first Governor General of India was one Hastings, Lord Mountbatten. Who was it? I've forgotten. Let me check somewhere if I can get simple things with the it's very simple, but I forgot it. Let me see. Lord Mountbatten plan. Yes, Mountbatten was there. The first person was Governor General. Not person was yes, it was British. Independent India. Summon Commission. All the members of the commissions were white, yes. Working out the Darcy system, yes, introduced by Monteism from 1919. The report to what extent representative government can be introduced in India. Indians protested against Summon Commission with the exclusion of Indians from the commission, yes. Also discuss and decide the opponent famous partial government. And who was that? First Governor General of India, I forgot the name. So funny. And the name from the name. That was Governor General. William Bentinck, yes, William Bentinck. And the Governor General of Bengal was Warren Hastings. Of course, this is it. Now what? Chakrabarti Rajagopalasari was the first and last Indian Governor General in independent India. After independence of India, 948 to 950. Minister of Home Affairs, he founded the Swatantra Party in 1959. Rajagopalasari founded the Swatantra Party in 1959. His rational ideas are reflected in the collection Satyameva Jayate. He was awarded with the Bharat Ratna in 1954. Wow. C. Gopalasari was awarded Bharat Ratna in 1954. C. Rajagopalasari. 1954 Bharat Ratna. His rational ideas are reflected in the collection Satyameva Jayate. C. Rajagopalasari's some rational ideas collections were collected in his book Satyameva Jayate. He was the Governor General of Bengal August 1947 and was Indian national first and last Indian Governor General of India 1940 to 50. He became the Minister of Home Affairs in the country's first cabinet. in the Swatantra Party in 1959, founded Swatantra Party, and his rational ideas were collected in his book Sitame Vijayate. He was awarded with Bharat Ratna in 1954. He was Chakrabarti Rajagopalasari was awarded Nobel of Bharat Ratna in 1954. Bharat Ratna in 1954. Rabindranath Tagore was awarded Nobel Prize for his poetry collection, poetry book Gitanjali in 1939. Dr. Rajendra Prasad, 1884 to 1963. Rajendra Prasad, Dr. Rajendra Prasad, Rajendra Prasad. Dr. Rajendra Prasad, first President of India. 1884 to 1963, he participated in Swadeshi movement, established Bihari Students' Conference, Samparan Satyagraha, non-cooperation movement, civil disobedience movement, and Quit India movement. Rajendra Prasad participated in Swadeshi movement, established Bihari Students' Conference. Bihari Students' Conference was established by Rajendra Prasad. Samparan Satyagraha, he participated in Swadeshi movement, Samparan Satyagraha, non-cooperation movement, civil disobedience movement, and Quit India movement. He founded the National College at Patna. He was elected as the Minister in charge of Food and Agriculture in the interim government in 1946. Minister in charge of Food and Agriculture. He was the President of the Constituent Assembly. President of the Constituent Assembly. He was the first President of the Indian Republic. He was honored with Bharat Ratna in 1962. He edited the newspaper Des Hindi Weekly. He was elected as the Minister in charge of Food and Agriculture in the interim government in 1946. He was the President of the Constituent Assembly. Was the President, yes, of course, Dr. Rajendra Prasad was the President of the Constituent Assembly. He became the first President of Indian Republic. He was honored with Bharat Ratna in 1962. And C. Gopalacharia was awarded Bharat Ratna in 1954, but Rajendra Prasad was awarded Bharat Ratna in 1962. He edited the newspaper Des Weekly. Des Weekly newspaper. Jawaharlal Nehru, 1889 to 1964. Jawaharlal Nehru, 1889 to 1964. Jawaharlal Nehru, 1889 to 1964. First Prime Minister of India. Even the General Secretary of the Indian National Congress in 1928, and its President in 1929. General Secretary of Indian National Congress in 1928, and its President, of course, Indian National Congress, Vice President in 1929. The independence resolution was passed under his presidentship at the Lahore session. There was president in 1920, 29 Lahore session. He was, and the first Purna Soros was taken in this congregation in Lahore, 1929. He was the first Prime Minister of Republic India from 1947 to 1964, also known as Architect of Modern India. Jawaharlal Nehru was also known as Architect of Modern India. He authored the doctrine of Panchashil and believed in the policy of non-alignment. He authored the book Doctrine of Panchashil, Doctrine of Panchashil. Jawaharlal Nehru wrote that book. He believed in the policy of non-alignment. Books. Discovery of India was written by Jawaharlal Nehru. Glimpses of world history, a bunch of old letters, the unity of India, independence, and after India and the world, etc. Discovery of India, glimpses of world history, a bunch of old letters, the unity of India, independence and after, India in the world, etc. India in the world. These were the books written by Jawaharlal Nehru. His autobiography was entitled as Autobiography. Yes, Jawaharlal Nehru's autobiography was written only like autobiography. There is no other words except this autobiography. This was the book or autobiographical book written by Jawaharlal Nehru. Autobiography. Dr. Bhimrao Ambedkar. Dr. Bhimrao Ambedkar, President of the Drafting Committee, Constitution, Constitution, Drafting Committee, Constituent Drafting Committee. Dr. Bhimrao Ambedkar, 1891 to 1956, 1891 to 1956. Dr. Bhimrao Ambedkar was the great leader of the depressed class and an eminent jurist. Yes, a great leader of the depressed class and an eminent lower class people, and an eminent jurist. He set up a network of colleges. He set up a network of colleges in the name of People's Education Society. He founded the Depressed Classes Institute in 1924 and Samas Samota Sangh in 27. He participated in all the three roundtable conferences of London and sent the Pune Factor with Kansi in 1932. Pune Pact was signed with Kansi in 1932 because of the Harrison or the depressed class of the society who the untouchables. 1932. And this Dr. Bhimrao Ambedkar participated in all the three roundtable conferences which were held from 1932, 31 and 32. He was in the Governor General's Executive Council from 1942 to 1946 and organized the Indian Labour Party, the Scheduled Caste Federation, Indian Labour Party. He organized Indian Labour Party and Scheduled Caste Federation. Bhimrao Ambedkar organized Indian Labour Party and Scheduled Caste Federation. He became the chairman of the drafting committee of the Indian Constitution. He was the chairman of the drafting committee of Indian Constitution. Bhimrao Ambedkar, as the first law minister of the independent India, he was while India got independence, Bhimrao Ambedkar was the first law minister of India. He introduced a Hindu code bill. There was some Hindu rules. Hindu code bill. The Hindu code bill. Dr. Bhimrao Ambedkar. He started the Republican Party in 1956. Republican Party was started, founded by Bhimrao Ambedkar. Republican Party in 1956. He embraced Buddhism towards the end of his life. Yes, Bhimrao Ambedkar embraced Buddhism towards the end of his life. He died in 1956. Subhash Chandra Bose. This is Bose. Subhash Chandra Bose. 1897 to 1945. 1897 and 97 to 1945. 1945. He died in 1945 before the independence of India. Some people say that Subhash Chandra Bose's date is unknown. 1897 to 1945. He passed the Indian Civil Services examination in 1920 in England, but left it on Gandhi's call of non-cooperation movement. Subhash Chandra Bose passed the Indian Civil Services examination in 1920 during the non-cooperation movement, but Gandhi called him and he came to India non-cooperation movement to participate in non-cooperation movement. He founded he passed the civil services examination, and the first Indian person who passed Indian civil services examination, that was Satyendra Tagore, the elder brother of Rabindranath Tagore. Wow. He founded the Independence of India League. He founded the Independence of India League with Jawaharlal Nehru. Subhash Chandra Bose and Jawaharlal Nehru together founded the Independence of India League. Jawaharlal Nehru and Subhash Chandra Bose. He was elected as the president of Indian National Congress at its Haripur session 938, and Tripura session 939, but resigned from Tripura due to differences with Gandhi. He had some differences afterwards. He became extremist. Gandhi was moderate. There's the difference between them. He founded the Forward Bloc in 1939. He founded the Forward Bloc after the differences with Gandhi. He founded the Forward Bloc 1939 and Kisan Sabha, Forward Bloc and Kisan Sabha 1939. He escaped to Berlin in 1941. He escaped to Berlin in 1941 and met Hitler. Oh, he met Hitler in Berlin, Germany. Hitler. Well, Subhash Chandra Bose met Hitler for the first time. I've heard about this. In 1941, he escaped to Berlin, Germany, and met Hitler, the protagonist, or what? The Second World War. The Lucifer, the second. Hitler, he met in Berlin, 1941. Subhash Chandra Bose met him. He took the source of Indian Army, Azad Hind Post. In 1943, Subhash Chandra Bose established in 1943, but Indian National Army, INA. The National Army was founded founded in 1942, but there was no Subhash Chandra Bose. Some other guy with it. Some other guys with it too. The 43 in Singapore and set up Indian provisional government there. Indian provisional government there. So Subhash Chandra Bose founded the Indian National Army in 1943 in Singapore. He addressed Mahatma Gandhi as the father of the nation. This Mahatma Gandhi as the father of the nation. He supposedly died. He addressed Mahatma Gandhi, the father of the nation. He supposedly died in a plane crash in 1945. He gave the famous slogans Delhi Chalo and Jai Hind. Subhash Chandra Bose gave the famous slogan Delhi Chalo and Jai Hind. Delhi Chalo and Jai Hind. The India Struggle was his autobiography. Bhagat Singh, 1907 to 1931. He was a member of Hindustan Socialist Republican Association. He started militant Naujawan Bharat Sabha in Punjab. He killed British official Saunders in 1928 and was involved in Lahore conspiracy and bombed. Bhagat Singh 1907 to 1931. 1907 to 1931. Bhagat Singh 1907 to 1931. He was a member of Hindustan Socialist Republican Association. He was a member of Hindustan Socialist Republican Association. He started the militant Bhagat Singh Hindustan Socialist Republican Association. He started the militant Naujawan Bharat Sabha in Punjab. Militant Naujawan Bharat Sabha in Punjab. He killed British official Saunders in 1928. Yes, Bhagat Singh killed British officer Saunders in 1928. That's why he got hanged. And was involved in Lahore conspiracy and bombed the Central Legislative Assembly. He was executed on 23rd March 1931. He killed Saunders in 1928, and he was hanged in 1931. 23rd March 1931. Books, journals, newspapers. So many of these were here. These are here. So many. Art and cultures of India. Book and journals and newspapers. Book or journals. Newspapers. Author work, yes, of course, I will read this. And after it, I will have to end up. It's almost struck 1:11, something like that. Aurobindo Ghosh, his works, books, journals. Author and work. Aurobindo Ghosh, Karma Yogi, Aurobindo Ghosh, Karma Yogi, New Lamp for Old, Bhavani Mandir, Bankim Chandra Chatterjee, Anand Math was written in 1876, and Durgesh Nandini, B.R. Ambedkar, Muknayak, Bahiskrit Bharat, Dadabhai Naoroji, Rastgopter, Voice of India, Poverty and the Un-British Rule in India, Dadabhai Naoroji, Rastgopter, Voice of India, Poverty and Un-British Rule in India. Where he mentioned about in the poverty and un-British rule in India, he mentioned about independence of India. Soros, I used the word Soros of India. Means we have to rule by ourselves. Dayanand Saraswati, Veda Vaishya Bhumika, Dayanand Saraswati, Veda Vaishya Bhumika, Siddhartha Prakash, Gopal Krishna Gokhale, Nation, and Sudharak, Gopal Krishna Gokhale. Jawaharlal Nehru, Discovery of India, National Herald, Whiter India, Soviet Asia. Jawaharlal Nehru, Discovery of India, National Herald, Whiter India, Soviet Asia. M.K. Gandhi, Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi, Navjivan, Young India and Harijan. Navjivan, Young Indian Harijan. Indian opinion. This was his newspaper, I guess. Madan Mohan Malviya, Hindustan leader. R.N. Tagore, Rabindranath Tagore, letters from Russia, Gora. Letters from Russia, Gora. Rajaram Mohan Roy, Sambat Kumudi, Mirat ul Akbar, Bhargadatta, Vivekananda, Prabhuda Bharat, Udbodhana, Vivekananda, Prabhuda Bharat, Udbodhana, Prasho or Pashaya, Vivekananda, Prasho or Pashaya, Innovation, New India, Commonwealth. This is not Commonwealth. This is only Commonwealth. The welfare of the citizen, common citizen. B.G. Tilak, Balgata Tilak, Kesari, and Maratha. Kesari, that book was written in Maratha language, and Maratha was written in English language. Maybe this was not book, this was newspaper. There were the editors like B.K. Nanda. There was biography of Gokhale, biography of Gopal Krishna Gokhale written by B.K. Nanda. B. Upadhyay, Sandhya, Pal Sastri Jambekar, Darpan, Pal Sastri Jambekar, Darpan. Parendra Kumar Ghosh and Bhupendra Datta, Yogantar. Bhartendu Harish Chandra, Kavi Vasan Sudha, Bipin Chandrapal, Paridarshak, Curzon, Philosophy of the East. Lord Curzon, Philosophy of the East. Dayal Singh Majidiyya, Tribune, Author, editor work, Dinabandhu Mitra, Nildarpan, Derozio, there was East India, Devendranath Tagore, Indian Mirror, Derozio, East India, Dinabandhu Mitra, Nildarpan, Devendranath Tagore, Indian Mirror, E.V. Ramaswamy Naikar, Kudi Annasu, G. Subramania Iyer, Swadesh Mitram, G. Subramania Iyer, Swadesh Mitram, G. Subramania Iyer, and Biradakha Bhasari, and Chubbarao Pandit, The Hindu, Ghulam Hussain Inkilab, Harishchandra Mukherjee, Hindu Patriot, Henry Vivian Derozio, India Gazette, a newspaper. Henry Vivian Derozio, Hunters, Indian Muslims, Ishar Chandra Vidyasagar, Samprakash, James Augustus Hickey, 1780, Bengal Gazette. James Augustus Hickey, 1780, it was Bengal Gazette. First Indian newspaper, first Indian English newspaper, it was Bengal Gazette. Jyotirao Phule, Ghulam Giri, K.K. Mira, Sanjeevani, Kulamgiri, Jyotiba Phule, Kulamgiri, Jyotiba Phule, 1780 or something like that. Siddha Sadhak Samas, what he wanted to. Kulamgiri, K.K. Mitra, Sanjivani, K.M. Panikar, The Hindustan Times, M.A. Ajad, Hindu Wins Freedom, M.G. Ranade, SS in India Economics, M.G. Ranade, SS in India Economics, M. N. Roy, India in Transition, Madam Bikaji Kama, Bande Matram, Mulana Abul Kalam Azad Al Hilal, or Mulana Abul Kalam Azad Al Hilal, Mulana Muhammad Ali Comrade, Mukundarao Patil, Din Mitra, Muzaffar Ahmed Nabiyuk, P.C. Rai, History of India, Chemistry, Feroz Shah Mehta, Bombay Chronicle, R.C. Dutt, Economic History of British India, R.P. Dutt, India Today, this is our newspaper. Robert Knight, Indian Statesman, Robert Knight and Thomas Bennett, Bombay Times. S.A. Danga, The Socialist, Subhash Chandra Bose, Indian Struggle. Important dates or years of India's freedom struggle. Yes, this is very important. Dates in year 1905, Partition of Bengal announced yes to come in force from 16th October 1906. Yes, Partition of Bengal was announced in 1905, but it came into force in from 16th October 1906 onwards. Again, in 1911, it again what called reunited. Both East Bengal and West Bengal reunited in 1911 again. This Partition of Bengal came into force from 16 October 1906. 1906 December 30, Muslim League founded. Yes, December 30, 1906, Muslim League founded at Dhaka. 1908 April 30, Khudiram Bose executed. 1908 April 30, Khudiram Bose executed. 1908 July 30 and July 22nd. And July 22nd, Tilak sentenced to 6 years on charges of sedition. Tilak, yes, Balamatar Tilak. 6 years. Jail. Charges of sedition. 1909 May 21, Parliamentary Reforms of Indian Councils Act 1909. 9/11, the coronation or Delhi Darbar held at Delhi, in which the Partition of Bengal is cancelled. 9/11, the coronation or Delhi Darbar held at Delhi, in which the Partition of Bengal is cancelled. 1911, yes, Partition of Bengal was cancelled. 1911, Delhi becomes the new capital of India. 1911, yes, Delhi becomes the became the new capital of India. 1912, December 23, bomb thrown on Lord Hardinge. Bomb thrown on Lord Hardinge on his entry into state Delhi. Who threw the bomb? I don't know. 1914, November 1, Khadar Party formed in San Francisco. Khadar Party formed in San Francisco in 1914, November 1st. 1st November 1914, June 16, Bal Gangadhar Tilak released from jail. Bal Gangadhar Tilak released from jail in 1914. 1908 to 14. Yes, of course, there was, but they led their parties from the jail. Actually, from the jail, they led their parties. What kind of persons? He was sentenced 6 years of jail. 1914 August 4. Outbreak of the First World War. Yes, First World War took place. Started 1914 August 4. 4th August 1914. 4th August 1914. Nobody's still watching. Nobody is watching my video. Some 6 people liked. No need to watch my video today. You don't have to reality it. What I'm doing is I'm reading my book. Again, somebody will come here, maybe. May 21 monumental reforms. In 6 years on series of sedition. 109 May 21 monumental reforms of Indian Councils Act 909. And May 21 monumental reforms in Councils Act 909. 111 the coronation of Delhi Darbar held at Delhi, in which the partition of Bengal is cancelled. 11 coronation of Delhi Darbar held at Delhi, in which the partition of Bengal is cancelled. And at 11 Delhi becomes the new capital of India. At 12 December 23, bomb thrown on Lord Hardinge on his entry into state Delhi. 1914 November Khadar Party formed in San Francisco. And 14 June 16 Balaga Tilak released from jail. Then 14 August for outbreak of the First World War. And 14 September 29 Kumagatamaru ship reaches Bajpaj Kilkata port. 1915 January 9 Gandhiji arrives in India. And 15 February 19 death of Gopal Krishna Gokhale. And 15 February 19 death of Gopal Krishna Gokhale. And 16 April 28 Bal Gangadhar Tilak finds Indian Home Rule League 1916. 28 April Indian Home Rule League with its independence, with its headquarters at Pune. And 16 September 25 another Home Rule League started by Unipatient. 1917 April Mahatma Gandhi launches the Samparan campaign in Bihar to focus attention on the grievances of indigo planters. And 17 August 20, the Secretary of State for India, Montagu, declares that the goal of the British government in India is the introduction of a responsible government. And 17 August 20, the Secretary of State for India, Montagu, declares that the goal of the British government in India is the introduction of responsible government. Responsible government. 1918 beginning of trade union movement in India. And 19 beginning of trade union movement in India. Trade union movement in India. Beginning of trade union movement in India. In 18 April, Rawat Sedition Committee submits its report. Rawat Bill introduced on February 16, 1919 and 19. 1919. 1919 April 13 Jallianwala Tragedy. 1919 April 13 Jallianwala Bagh Tragedy. And 19 December 5 the House of Commons purchased the Monetary Spot Reforms of the Government of India Act 1919. The new reforms under this act came into operation in 1921. 19 December 5 the House of Commons passes 19 December 5 the House of Commons passes the Monetary Spot Reforms of the Government of India Act 1919. The new reforms under this act came into operation in 1921. 1920 first meeting of the All India Trade Union Congress. 1920 the first meeting of the All India Trade Union Congress under Narayan Malhar Joshi. The Narayan Malhar Joshi. 1920 first meeting of the All India Trade Union Congress under Narayan Malhar Joshi. 20 December, the Indian National Congress adopts the non-cooperation resolution. And 20 December, the Indian National Congress adopts the non-cooperation resolution. And 20 to 22 non-cooperation movement suspended on February 12, 1922 after the violent incidents at Sarisura on February 5, 1922. 1922 February 5 Sarisura incidents took place. That's why on February 2nd, February 12, 1922, the non-cooperation movement was withheld by Mahatma Gandhi. 1922 August, Mopla rebellion on the Malwar coast took place. 1923 January 1, Surajist Party formed by Motilal Nehru and others. Surajist Party formed by Motilal Nehru and others in 1923 January 1st. 1924 the Communist Party of India starts its activities at Kanpur. 1924 the Communist Party of India starts its activities at Kanpur. Then 25 August Kakori train conspiracy case. 1925 August Kakori train conspiracy case. Then 27 November 8 the British Prime Minister. Then 27 November 8 British Prime Minister announces the appointment of the Simon Commission to suggest future constitutional reforms in India. Simon Commission arrives in Bombay on February 3rd, 1928, and All India Hartal Lala Lajpat Rai assaulted by police at Lahore. Yes, in 1928, because of the Simon Commission, Hartal Lajpat Rai was injured and succumbed within 1 year in 1929. Yes, he died by the police assault in Lahore. Then 28 till dead year impotence. 28. In 28, Nehru report recommends principle for the new Constitution of India. All parties conference considers the Nehru report August 28 to 31. Then 28 November 17, date of Lala was put right. And 29 Sort Act passed prohibiting marriage girls below 14 and the boys below 18 years of age with effect from 9/30. And 29 Sarda date of was put right. And 20 and 29 Sarda Act passed prohibition. And 29 Sarda Act passed prohibiting marriage of girls below 14 and the boys below 18 years of age with effect from 9/30. Sarda Act passed in 1929 and it came in effect in 9/30. The girls were prohibited to marry below 14 and boys below 18 years. And 29 March 9, all parties Muslim conference formulates the 14 points under the leadership of Jinnah. 14 points under the leadership of Jinnah. And 29 April 8, Bhagat Singh and Patakis were that throw a bomb in the Central Legislative Assembly. Bhagat Singh and Patakis that threw bomb in the Central Legislative Assembly in 1929. Yes, April 8. Bhagat Singh and Patakis that 929. And 29 October 31st. Lord Irwin's announcement that the goal of British policy in India was the grant of the dominant status. And 29 December 31, the Lahore session of the International Congress adopts the goal of complete independence upon his arrest that was taken by Jawaharlal Nehru on 29 December 31st. And also that the tricolor of Indian national independence, the flag was hoisted. And on the banks of the river, on the banks of the river Ravi at Lahore. And was also one thing was there that on the 26th January from 1930, the this independent republic there will be celebrated means celebrated on the 26th January 1930. First Republic Day was celebrated on the day 26th January 1930. January 26th, the Independence Day, or not Republican Day, was Independence Day was celebrated from 9/30 26 January. The Independence Day was observed in 9/30, but afterwards Independence Day took place in 15 August 1947. This was 20 January. It was for the first time in 1930. Independence Day was observed. Then 30 February 14, the Working Committee of the International Congress meets at Sabarmati and passes the Civil Disobedience Resolution. And 30 March 12, Mahatma Gandhi launches the Civil Disobedience Movement with his epic Dandi March on 12 March. 12 March to April 6, first phase of the Civil Disobedience Movement, March 12, 1932, March 5, 1931. 1931. How? 6 April. Civil Disobedience Movement, March 12, 1932, March 1931. How it could be? Okay, what if I don't know what it is actually? All this. 1930 November 30, first roundtable conference November 30, and 1930 first roundtable conference begins in London to consider the report of the Simon Commission. 1930. That was Lala Rajput was dead there at the time of the protest because of the Simon Commission in Lahore. Lala Rajput Rai was dead because of police attack, police beating. 1931 March 5, Gandhi went back to assigned civil disobedience movement suspended. Civil disobedience movement suspended 1931 March 5. Yes, March 5, 1931. This one was Gandhi went back to assigned. It was correct. It was correct. So I've taken the wrong pen. That is it. 12 March. Civil disobedience movement took place from 12 March 1932, 5 April. Yes, no, 5 March 1931. In 1931, March 23, Bhagat Singh, Sukhdev, and Rajguru executed. 1931, March 23, Bhagat Singh, Sukhdev, and Rajguru. Bhagat Singh, Sukhdev, and Rajguru were executed. 1931, March 23. Bhagat Singh, Sukhdev, and Rajguru. Bhagat Singh, Sukhdev, and Rajguru. 1931, March 20. March 20. 1931, March 23. 1931, March 23. Bhagat Singh, Sukhdev, and Rajguru executed. 1931 September 7, second roundtable conference. 1931 September 7, second roundtable conference. 1931 December 20th, Gandhi's returns from London after the deadlock in second roundtable conference launches civil disobedience movement. The Indian National Congress declared illegal. And 31 December 20th, Gandhiji returns from London after the deadlock in second roundtable conference launches civil disobedience movement. The Indian National Congress declared illegal. Indian National Congress was declared illegal. And 31 December 28, Gandhiji returns from London after the deadlock in second roundtable conference launches civil disobedience movement. The Indian National Congress declared illegal. And 32 January 4, Gandhiji arrested and imprisoned without trial. 1932. Rowlatt Act. And 32 January 4, Gandhiji arrested and imprisoned without trial. 1932 August 16, British Prime Minister Ramsay MacDonald announces the infamous Communal Award. British Prime Minister Ramsay MacDonald announces the infamous Communal Award 1932. 1932 September 20, Gandhiji in jail. Gandhiji in jail begins his epic Fast Unto Death. 1932 September 20, jail begins his epic Fast Unto Death against the Communal Award, announced the first on 20 September 6 days after the Pune Pact. 1932 to the Pune Pact. 9:30 November 17, the third roundtable conference begins in London. 9:32 September November 17, third roundtable conference took place in London. 17 November to 24th December. 17th November to 24th December. Roundtable conference, third, 1932. 1930, 1931, 1932. 1933, May 9th, Gandhi released from prison as he begins his fast or self-purification. Indian National Congress suspends civil disobedience movement, but authorizes Satyagraha by individuals. 1933, civil disobedience movement was Indian National Congress suspends civil disobedience movement, which is Satyagraha by individuals. Civil disobedience movement was suspended by Indian National Congress but accepted Satyagraha individuals. 1933 May. 1934, Gandhi withdraws from active politics and devotes himself to constructive programs. Gandhi withdraws from active politics 1934. Devotes himself to constructive programs. 1935 August 4, the Government of India Act 1935 passed. The Government of India Act 1935 passed. The Government Act 1935 passed. August 4. 1937 elections held in India under the Act of 1935 February 1937. The Indian National Congress contests elections and forms ministries in several provinces. July 1937. 938 February 19 to 20. 1938 Horipura session of Indian National Congress. Subhash Chandra Bose elected Congress President. Horipura Congress session there was. Subhash Chandra Bose was the president, and that session 1937. 1938 to the session. 939 March 10 to 9. 939 March 10 to 9. Tripura session of the Indian National Congress. Tripura session of the Indian National Congress. There was maybe who was there? Maybe 1939. Subhash Chandra Bose was there, I guess. Again, 1938 also, 1939 also. 1939 April, Subhash Chandra Bose resigns as the president of the Indian National Congress. Yes, that was yes. There was Tripura session. Yes, so that was 1939. 1939 September 3, Second World War. 1939 September 3, 1939 September 3. Second World War. 1st September. Great Britain declares war on Germany. Great Britain declares war on Germany. The Viceroy declares that India too is at war. Viceroy. 1939 was the Viceroy at that time. I've forgotten who was the Viceroy during the time of World War First or World War Second. On 1939 September 3 starts Second World War. 1st September. Great Britain declares war on Germany. Great Britain declares war on Germany. Viceroy declares that India too is at war. India, why? India had to stay neutral. 1939 October 27 and November 5. The Congress ministries in the provinces resign in protest against the war policy of the British government. Congress ministries in the provinces resign in protest against the war. Yes, against the war policy of the British government. Indians didn't want to participate in the war. 1939 December, war began in 1939 September 3. 1939 December 22, the Muslim League observes the resignation of the Congress ministers as Deliverance Day, Congress ministers. Yes, Muslim League to what call yes. Check out 940 March Lahore session of the Muslim League. 940 March the Lahore session of Muslim League passes the Pakistan resolution. 940 August 10 Viceroy Linglitko. Yes, Linglitko was the viceroy during the time of the First World War. During the time of the Second World War, Lord Linglitko. And 40 August 10, Viceroy Linglitko announces August offer. And 40 August 940 August 18 to 22, Congress Working Committee rejects the August offer. 940 October 17, Congress launches individual Satyagraha movement. 1940. In 1939, Congress suspends that civil disobedience movement, but again, individual took Satyagraha in 1940. Satyagraha movement. Individual Satyagraha movement. There's 941 January 17. Subhash Chandra Bose escapes from India. Yes, Subhash Chandra Bose escaped from India. Yes, 941. Arrives in Berlin, March 28, March 28, and he met Hitler. Subhash Chandra Bose in 941. He met Hitler in Berlin or Germany. 1942, March 11, Churchill announces the Cripps mission. 1942, March 11, Churchill announces the Cripps mission. Churchill is the Prime Minister of England. 1942, March 11, Churchill announces the Cripps mission. 1942, August 7 to 8. 1942, August 7 to 8. The International Congress meets in Bombay, adopts Quit India resolution. 1942, August 7 to 8, the Indian National Congress meets in Bombay, adopts Quit India resolution. 1942, August 9. 1942, August 9, Gandhiji and other Congress leaders arrested. 1942, August 9, Gandhiji and other Congress leaders arrested. 1942, August 11, Quit India movement begins. 9 August 9, Gandhiji and other Congress leaders arrested. 1942, August 11, Quit India movement begins. The Great August Uprising. 1942. 1942, 11 August, Quit India movement. Sorry. Quit India movement begins. 1942, 11 August. The Great August Uprising. 1942, September 1, Subhash Chandra Bose established the Indian National Army. Other team for Subhash Chandra Bose. 1942, Indian. 1942, September 1, Subhash Chandra Bose established the Indian National Army as a team post. In 42 October 21, Subhash Chandra Bose proclaims the formation of the Provisional Government of Free India. There was, as in Bose was, because Indian National Army was founded in 1943 by the Subhash Chandra Bose. In 1943 it was. In 43 October 21, Subhash Chandra Bose proclaims the formation of the Provisional Government of Free India. And 43 December, Karachi session, a Muslim League adopts the slogan "Divide and Quit." Divide and Quit. Karachi session of Muslim League. 1943. Divide and Quit. 1943. 1943 December, Karachi session of the Muslim League adopted the slogan "Divide and Quit." And 44 January 25, Wavell calls Simla Conference. Wavell calls Simla Conference in a bid to form the Executive Council of Indian political leaders. 944 January 25 Oval calls Simla Conference in a bid to form the Executive Council of Indian political leaders. 946 February mutiny of the Indian naval ratings in Bombay. 946 February 18 mutiny of the Indian naval ratings in Bombay. 946 March 15 British Prime Minister Attlee announces cabinet mission to propose a new solution to the Indian deadlock. Cabinet mission arrives in New Delhi. Potent March issues proposal. 16th May. 946 February 18 mutiny of Indian naval ratings in Bombay. 1946 March 15 British Prime Minister Attlee announces cabinet mission to propose a new solution to the Indian deadlock. Cabinet mission arrives in New Delhi. Potent March issues proposal. 16th May. Mr. Attlee. 1946 Attlee. Cabinet mission to propose a new solution to the Indian deadlock. Cabinet mission arrives in New Delhi. Potent March issues proposal. 16th May. 946 July 6 Jawaharlal Nehru takes over as Congress President. 946 July 6 Jawaharlal Nehru takes over as Congress President. 946 August 6 Wavell invites Nehru to form an interim government. Interim government takes office 2nd September 46. 946 December 9 First session of the Constituent Assembly of India starts. 1946 December 9 First session of the Constituent Assembly of India starts. 1st September 9 December 1946 First session of Constituent Assembly of India starts. Muslim League boycotts it. Muslim League boycotted the first session of the Constituent Assembly of India. Muslim League did this one. Then one this one is on the December 9th. 946 first session of international first session of the Constituent Assembly of India, Constituent Assembly of India. But the Muslim League boycotted this one. 947 February 20 British Prime Minister Attlee declares that the British government would leave India not later than June in 948. Again, the British Prime Minister Attlee declared that he is not going to leave India. Before 1948, but he had to leave. He had to leave. 1947 March 24 Lord Mountbatten. 1947 March 24 Lord Mountbatten, the last British Viceroy and the Governor General of India, sworn in March 24 and 47 to June March 24 and 47 to June 21 and 48 June 21 1948 years. June 21, 1948, June, July, August, July, August, September, August. Yes, Lord Mountbatten, and 47 March 24, and then the last British Viceroy and Governor General of India, sworn in March 24, and 47 to June 21 and 48. 947 June 3 Mountbatten plan for the partition of India. 947 June 3 Mountbatten plan for the partition of India and the announcement for June that transfer to Awar would take place on 15th August. 1947, Zone 3, one building plan, 147, Zone 3, one building plan for the partition of India and the announcement for June. The transfer to power will take place on 15 August. 1947, June 3, one building plan for the partition of India and announcement for June. The transfer to power will take place. On 15 August. 1947. 1947 August 15, India wins Britain. Bye bye guys. See you tomorrow again during the night time. Okay. Bye bye. Thank you for watching.